I've been wanting to make this video for a while, just kind of discussing like the stories in Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I realized that there wasn't anything like on the wiki or forums when I spoke to people. People didn't realize that the stories for certain characters played out exactly how they did for their respective games. So I want to see if other people realize this and if I'm missing some things. I think it's kind of neat what they did with the story in the game. Um, well, a lot of the pair-ups are done for certain reasons. For example, Link and Yoshi. You notice they had to pair Link and Yoshi up because Link doesn't team up with anybody in his own games, right? So I figured Yoshi plays sort of a Steed character for Link, so it makes sense. But that being said, I don't think Link ever actually rode on Yoshi, which would have been really cool. Um, then there was Samus and Pikachu, which also makes sense because Samus, even more than Link, I feel, doesn't. I don't know about that actually, but she enters missions on her own. So making her team up with somebody would kind of seem weird. So I think Pikachu was an excellent choice because Pikachu isn't really. It doesn't seem like an equal team up really because Pikachu is just a Pokemon and Pokemon needs trainers. So you focus on the trainer in that instance. And also, if you notice, Samus saves Pikachu in the same way where Samus saves the baby Metroid, uh, where it shows that very motherly a very little bit of motherly instinct within Samus, and the same way Pikachu was being experimented on, so were the Metroids. So that's really interesting. And then you have King Dedede and Luigi, or kind of separately. You notice how Luigi, he's in the Great Maze, the same way in, say, Mario Galaxy or other Mario games, you get to replay the whole game as Luigi. Well, isn't that what you do in the Great Maze? Because you start off as Luigi, so you could do that. And King Dedede, interestingly, Sakurai, King Dedede, Kirby, and Meta Knight as his characters. And so they played out the exact same way. Kirby was this hero character, like, by accident. King Dedede seemed like a villain, but he actually, he was actually a good guy. And Meta Knight also, he knew more than every other character, and that's always the way it is in the Kirby games. Then you have Lucas. I'm pretty sure the story with Lucas plays out the same way his character arc must be in Mother 3. I never played Mother 3 or any Mother game, but I'm pretty sure Lucas had this journey where he was timid at first because like his brother died, so that's like Ness being turned into a trophy, and then he makes this journey where he becomes more self-confident and becomes a stronger person. The Pokemon trainer happens to help him do that. And then Ness in Mother 3 wasn't he was like this legendary boy character. He also seemed like this legendary kid in that game because he showed up like it was a miracle. And he showed up at the end like it was a miracle again. Then we can move on to Pokemon Trainer himself. That's really obvious. He started off with Squirtle and then he continued catching Pokemon. But I would have liked to see if there was some sort of badge earning thing in there, but I don't think there was. Wario is just a collector. There are certainly other examples. And really, come on, how can you not recognize his parallelism between Metroid Prime series and the Subspace Emissary is just blatant. Even in the battle, his coming back as Metal Lee, and in the cutscene where he's like ripping Samus along the wall, totally Metroid Prime 3, and Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3 too as well. Also, Mario and Peach. I saw that moment where Mario fails to capture Peach in the castle as the princess is in another castle moment, but I think that's pushing it a bit. However, what isn't is the remarkable parallels between Donkey Kong Country and Subspace Emissary. Donkey Kong Country 2, where Donkey Kong is kidnapped and Diddy Kong has to team up with Dixie Kong in order to go save him. That's basically the same story, only Dixie Kong is replaced by Fox. And also, Fox plays out the same exact story as in Star Fox Adventures, only his sidekick in that game, Tricky, the dinosaur, is replaced by Diddy Kong. And you'll notice that the relationship between Fox and Tricky is really exactly the same relationship that Fox has with Diddy Kong in this game too. So that's pretty exciting. Also, Falco, although he shows up late because he's a not a newcomer, he's an unlockable. But I also thought it was interesting how he shows up late to Fox's mission, the way Fox had criticized him in Command, the way he always shows up late. The princess is being captured, of course, and Meta Knight sings his halberd is kind of different from what we see in Kirby's Superstar because in that game, Meta Knight Although he is trying to save his halberd, but it's more of a defensive kind of thing, other than an avenging kind of thing. So all these parallels in Super Smash Bros. Brawl kind of made me think, what would the story be like in like the next game? Are they gonna have like more original stories? I would love to see that. Like actually, original stories that is completely new. But though the parallels are really great and it feels new anyway because it's different characters. Uh, and in any case, there's so many stories that's been told with these characters that they could delve into other games and find other parallels and really mix these characters up. There are definitely certain characters that I would love see team up together, and my favorite team up for SSBB was probably Meta Knight and Lucario. I was very happy that they didn't do all that. This guy is gonna fight this guy. It's really easy to do that in a crossover, especially if it's a fighting game. But Meta Knight and Lucario was definitely cool, and it was the best one, even though there weren't that many.
Now I'm looking at my roster and I'm trying to figure out what kind of team ups or crossovers would I like to see. I would definitely like Bowser Jr. to kind of team up with Ganondorf and kind of say, my father sucks as a villain. I want to be more evil, and Ganondorf might be the way to do that. Or even like, just because of your size, I would like to really see Meta Knight and Bowser Jr. do something that looks like good fun. Yoshi and Kirby, because they're like big eating characters, they're both like fun. I think that I would like to see that team up. One is really heroic. One tends to be heroic but doesn't care to be, and I don't know which one I'm talking about when I say which. Who else? I would like to see Zoroark haunting somebody. I don't know. Ice Climbers against King Deity or Crystal sounds good. Now, Skull Kid represents a lot of cool kind of possibilities because to the kids of the group, Ice Climbers, Ness, Pokemon Trainer, I guess, he could be allies with, but then be enemies against other people like Mario and other people. I think a young Zelda is really nice because Zelda is younger in Skyward Sword, so I think that young Zelda is really nice, and I think Marth would be a nice older brotherly figure for her. That would be a really nice crossover. I don't know, with the third party characters, I don't know what to do with them really. I would like to see a cutscene with Mega Man and Samus, that would be kind of cool. I had this cutscene in mind with Peach, Tom Nook, and Jigglypuff, just like a dumb thing for no reason. Shulk and Fox is a must-do for me, and so is like Fox and Captain Falcon because of the references within the own games, but Shulk and Fox because I think they would be so epic together. Fox would use a staff for a moment. They both have this thing when they're fighting technological forces at some points, but they also have that natural sense with Fox and the dinosaurs and Shulk and the Bionis. I forget what it was called. But that would really be a nice mashup. And throw Ridley in there as an enemy because he has this genetic thing to him. Mewtwo. Throw Mewtwo in there as their opponent. That would be really, really nice. Donkey Kong and Stanley, let that reunion happen. Stanley and Pac-Man. And Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, just those three really cool. I think Sonic, Meta Knight, and Bowser Jr., I see them as like a team because Sonic being speed, if you play Sonic Heroes, Baby Bowser being Jr., and Meta Knight being the flight. I'm sorry, Bowser Jr. being the power. I think that seems really cool to me. Where else? I see Stanley chilling with one of the Pokemon trainers somehow. But, or Pikmin. Okay, they can be fighting bugs together for some reason. There's no other, like, bug kind of thing. One rule I can't really find well for characters, King K. Rool. I don't know who I want him to interact with that much. I don't know. And, oh, Toon Link isn't in my roster, but if he was, I would like him to hang out with Pokemon Trainer. I'm sorry, Pokemon Ranger, and have some music theme going on with the Pokeflute. And I think that would be really cool, go on some sea adventures. This roster is really fun because there's so many villains in it to play around with, so many forms of antagonisms at different levels to really throw in there. I don't know about Isaac, I don't know where he goes. I guess with Ness, I don't know much about what he does. I guess with the Pokemon, I could really see him with a Pokemon. Who else, man? Oh, Dark Samus. I think Dark Samus would be good against Olimar and Stanley because the Phazon is kind of like an infestation, and then when it becomes a big villain, they could be totally done for, and Dark Samus could move on into bigger, more terrorizing acts than just in his Phazon form. That's really cool. Sukapon, I see him just being there, just being a friendly fighter, fighting for no reason.
Yeah, so I'm really curious, what do you guys think about the story, possible mashups, either as teammates or as rivals going against each other. What characters do you want to see be together? Yeah, do you want them to face a certain boss, or what do you think about assist trophy characters playing some more minor roles in the story? Personally, I think it's not necessary because the roster is so huge already. But for some assist characters who otherwise would have gotten a role in the roster, I'd like to see some sort of little cameo thrown in there. My idea is that if they're gonna bring back the idea of the fighting thing, like Kirby and Mario fighting, we'll look into the crowd and we'll see a lot of Nintendo characters thrown in there. So yeah, that seems neat. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment.